Hello, beautiful people. Happy Sunday, and welcome to your practical application of astrology personal story share, the last one for 2023, because today is the last day of 2023, and I saved this video for this day in particular to reflect and retrospect, introspect, and share my observations with regards to what's been going on, and of course, what I'm tapping into with regards to what's going to be continuing in 2024. So, if you are looking for the astrological forecast for next week, that already was released on my YouTube channel on Friday, so that's where you can find it. This is, as I mentioned, my personal story share and practical application. Although I still would like to mention the main transits that were taking place this week, because there's been quite a lot of them, and to me it feels like Monday, Christmas Day, was a very long time ago. So let me just quickly recap what's been going on. So on Christmas Day, we had the Mars trine to North Node. Mars is the ruler of the North Node, so this is a supportive aspect. And Venus, as the ruler of the South Node, made a trine to Neptune. Then on Tuesday night, Wednesday early morning, we had the Cancer full moon. Shortly after, Chiron station direct, and on Wednesday we also had the exact trine between Sun and Jupiter, which of course all these things were active for the full moon. Then Wednesday night, Thursday early morning, we had Mercury retrograde conjunct Mars in the sign of Sagittarius, because Mercury is there at the moment. Then on Thursday night, Friday early morning, depending again where you are in the world, we had Mars made a square to Neptune. On Friday also, Venus made her last sextile to Pluto. Pluto still in the sign of Capricorn. This is actually the last sextile between Venus in Scorpio and Pluto in Capricorn ever in our lifetime anyway, because next time that's going to take place, Pluto will be already in a sign of Aquarius. And on Friday, Venus moved into a sign of Sagittarius, so she's no longer in Scorpio. We entered the weekend with Moon in a sign of Leo, and that by this point has changed, because Moon is now in a sign of Virgo. So we are exiting 2023 and entering 2024 with Moon in a sign of Virgo, all about learning and adjusting. A lot of flexibility will be required for the year 8, the year of strength. And the last thing to mention, which of course I'm sure everybody is happy about, Jupiter now is finally direct, because Jupiter stationed direct last night, Saturday night, Sunday early morning, depending where you are in the world, and it's been retrograde since the beginning of September 4th. So now Jupiter is finally direct, and tomorrow on January 1st, 2024, also Mercury will station direct. And at the moment, Jupiter is ruling Mercury, because, as I mentioned, Mercury is back in a sign of Sagittarius. So Mercury will station direct tomorrow on the first day of 2024. And just before that, Venus will make a square to Saturn in the same degree that is my Pluto, and actually Saturn at the same time will be trining my Pluto in Scorpio. So okay, so this is it with regards to transits. So yeah, how's this last week been for you? It's been definitely interesting end of the year 2023. Like so many things taking place, so much energy and so many aspects happening in the sky, which I'm sure is bringing a lot of emotions, especially to the surface, because we did have the full moon in Cancer. And this is all helping us to understand and unveil who are we becoming, because now with the end of 2023, people might be reflecting and introspective how this year has gone for them, maybe walking down the memory lane in their mind, thinking about what the beginning of 2023 was for them. It's like a little bit of nostalgia. Interestingly, Moon now is in the sign of Virgo, but it was in the sign of Leo for the majority of the weekend, and Leo can be very nostalgic. And yeah, I know that that's how it was for me, just like literally thinking, especially as today is the last day of the year, thinking where I was at the beginning of 2023 and how crazy life has been for me ever since, how much has changed. And yeah, feeling excited where I'm going to be at the end of 2024 and beginning of 2025. Like that's going to be very interesting to observe what everything we are individually and collectively going to be going through in 2024. As I mentioned, I will not be making my own prediction video, but by now I have watched 3 of those, and I did put in my bio for my last, in my description, video description for my last week's and this week's forecast, and also for my practical share a link to Lee Harris, a spiritual teacher, intuitive, very beautiful human being who I hold in a very high esteem, and currently he is the main person that I'm absorbing content from. So his vision for 2024 is not a prediction as much, it's more like an energetical vision for what he's tapping into. I found that the most helpful out of all the ones I watched. Also Amanda Zelli's prediction for 2024, very helpful. And I did watch Till Swans once as well, quite brief but quite potent, definitely kicks a punch. So yeah, so these are my top 3. If anybody wants to check them out, do check them out. But of course, as I mentioned before, I don't particularly want to go too deep into predictions. Of course, it's important to have guidance and understand the energy that we are encountering and facing, but you are the creator of your reality. And if I would have believed all the predictions I was being told, especially prior to living my old life in England and coming back to Mexico, I don't know if I would be where I am now. But me, stubborn Taurus, I was like, no, this is my vision, this is where I'm going, that's it. And here we are 1 year later, and yeah, I could have not foreseen majority of things that took place in my life. I could have not predicted those because I didn't even know they existed at that time. I had no clue. I had there was no way of me seeing in January 2023. And I personally, listen to tarot predictions, especially as I mentioned, I don't listen to astrological predictions. I listen to tarot predictions for 2024. I haven't listened to any for 2024 yet, but for the 2023, and I rewatch them always at the end of the year. And then I look back at how this showed up for me. And everything was very accurate. However, I would have never been able to identify exactly how it was going to manifest. So this is what I'm trying to say, that at the end of the day, nobody can tell you exactly what that's going to look like for you, what it's going to be like for you, because it's ever created as you go. Every day you create in your tomorrow, this energy is continuously shifting. So there is a main energetic imprint which we are all tapping into, especially because we are part of the same collective and whatever is the dominant theme. But it doesn't mean that this is going to be everybody's experience and exactly in that shape and form and having the same impact. So this is why I always say that be mindful, and also be mindful how much energy and emotion you put into that, especially the energy, because energy is what creates the process. It what pushes that thing into manifestation when we put energy into it. So this week especially, because as I mentioned, we had all these activations, all these squares to Neptune, and there was actually, I don't know, I think I might have missed it, the second square to Neptune from Mercury right after the full moon in Cancer. So there were a lot of activations to Neptune, and obviously activations to nodes, and also we had the full moon in Cancer, and the new moon in Cancer all the way back in July was at the same time as the nodes shifted. So this theme of the year and a half, while the nodes are in the sign of Aries and Libra, and this year we had half a year with the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio, and now the second half from July we had them in Aries and Libra, so the energy was mixed. However, 2024 we have the nodes only in Aries and Libra. They will not shift until January 2025, where they will move into Virgo and Pisces. So next year is going to be different energetically. I don't know whether people think that, it's going to be the same old. Very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. I would be very surprised if anybody found themselves on a last day of 2023, 1 year from now, 365 days from now, and thought, it was the same. It was the same year as the 2023, no difference. I have a really hard time believing that, because there are so many things that wrapped up this year that created this kind of energetic prelude prelude to what we are to expect for 2024, because all this wrap up of 2023 is, as I always say with astrology, there is no really any ending, it's just like the cycle continues. That's why it's a wheel. The zodiacal is a wheel, because it goes straight from Pisces to Aries, the new cycle begin. So it's the same as now us ending this old year 2023 and entering into new year 2024. That it's just like, it's something for us to understand linear, like in a linear terms, because of three-dimensional reality and our Gregorian calendar, that there is like some kind of like mark point or something, but the cycle continues. The planets don't stop, nothing stop. Jupiter just stationed direct, Mercury stationed indirect, but even that is just like illusion. That's how we see it on planet Earth, but they don't go backwards. They don't really go, these planets, they don't go backwards. They don't really like go backwards. It's just the way we see it from planet Earth. It's all like an optical illusion. It's how it's being calculated for us to make sense out of it, for us to understand, which is also like so many people say when they channel, that they have to try to translate it into linear language for us to understand, but it comes in a chunk of energy, it just comes as a chunk of messages. So that's why things don't always make sense or come across exactly the same way it was potentially like meant or whatever. But now going back to this analogy with the end of the year and the beginning of the new one, this is just the energy that we're tapping into, but the energy is not going anywhere. It's just like showing us that, this is, how we continue in the momentum. And with all these activations that took place this week, especially, it's very interesting how the energy is really highlighting to us all these like directions we are encouraged to focus on, which is of course this self-discovery with the Mars trying to North Node from the sign of Sagittarius, because we're going to expand, we're going to go chasing after the new adventures, see new horizons, because this is where we're heading. Jupiter just stationed direct, so it ended its re-evaluation with regards to these stories. What are the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves, that we can't do it, I can't do it, it's not possible for me. And then with this full moon in Cancer, especially the full moon in Cancer, it was a very busy full moon. There were so many aspects, so many activations going on at the same time. As I mentioned, we had a super 2 busy weeks, like just leading up to this, like literally this entire month. Like it's been so busy astrologically since probably the eclipses. And now this upcoming week, I just made the astrological forecast, like I said, on Friday, and it's fairly quiet. It's like not that many aspects are going on, which is like, okay, we know where we're heading, and now we need to digest this energy. We need to kind of, like I said, recalibrate our latitude, longitude, our GPS in our body, because like, okay, this is the direction we're going. Because now, as I mentioned, many people might be like having a little nostalgic moment today about what this year was like for them, what this year brought for them, what would they like to leave behind that no longer serves them, what would they like to vision for 2024, bring into manifestation. And it's the perfect year for it, the year number 8, under influence of Saturn and Jupiter. It's the year of manifestation. But with Saturn, you need to put the work in, right? Like it's like Jupiter says yes, but Saturn say, well, but do you know what you're doing? Are you competent, right? So it is definitely like, it's got so much potential. Year 8, and it's the sign of infinity, of course. I am a life path number 8, and it's a year 8, and I will be in my numerological year number 11. So I know this is going to be a big year for me, whatever it's going to happen, however that's going to manifest. But energetically, there is all this potential, and it's for all of us, because it's the year 8 for everyone. Like, us being the collective living in 2024, is the year 8 for us, like people who go by the Gregorian calendar anyway. But then everybody is on their own journey. You all have your own life path. You all have your, what year is it for you and stuff like that. So that obviously determines the themes for you personally, which I'm sure that you probably like having a, intuitive hits about like what that will mean for you. So again, going to this, looking back at the past 12 months potentially, or maybe like all your life until this point, who knows. And we, with this full moon in Cancer, things became illuminated to us. There could have been a lot of emotions brought up to the surface that are helping us to reconnect with ourselves, with our true essence. Of course, Cancer can also represent like our ego identity, which is like who we identify ourselves as, with all these labels, all these labels we give ourselves in this human experience, your name and your occupation and your status or whatever, all these kind of things. But with this full moon in Cancer, I feel that we had an opportunity to see beyond that, to see that actually you are not just all these labels, you're much more than that, and you came here to fulfill your purpose, because Sun now is in the sign of Capricorn, so we are defining. Also, Mercury started retrograde in Capricorn, now in the sign of Sagittarius. Now it's going to go forward, so-called forward, because it finishes its retrograde tomorrow, and Jupiter, the ruler of Mercury at the moment, is in the sign of, is in the sign of Taurus, but it's also direct as of now. It's direct. So we have much more clarity with regards to these stories we tell ourselves, these maybe limiting belief systems that we are attached to, that are preventing us from having the experience we want. So today is the perfect day to reevaluate that, okay, is my life turning up the way I want? Like the experience I'm having on everyday basis, or like looking back this past year, 2023, like, is it what I want, right? And now with this full moon in Cancer, is this who I still am? So I feel that it's no coincidence that we had full moon in Cancer as the last lunation of 2023 on the same week, when we have all these activations, all these aspects taking place in the skies. Also Chiron station in direct, as we know, Chiron, the wounded healer, the collective wounding, this fear of stepping into unknown, right? But which is just like, it's not non-negotiable anymore, because Chiron is going to conjunct North Node in February. There's going to be a new cycle between the two. So anyway, so all that said, we have the opportunity, especially today being the last day of the old year and stepping into the new year, to really decide where do we want to go and what do we want this 2024 to be like. And I know a lot of people might think like, oh well, we'll see, or I hope, or I wish, and all that. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. Because there are things that are outside of our control, right? Like there are things that also the soul wants to experience in order to grow. There are things that are outside of our control, but there are a lot of things that we have control over. So I mean, I don't know, about your job, about how you spend your time, about what we occupy ourselves with, where we put our energy, what do we consume, not that just with regards to food and drinks, but also, what content we consume and stuff like that, which, like I've been saying a lot of in a few of my videos now, especially since summer, how I had to make adjustments to my own schedule, because when I was staying with my family, I wasn't able to spend all this time consuming all this content, so I had to mute notifications. I also mentioned that in my personal phones now, like I turned off notification of every single app. I have no notifications showing up on my phone anymore, because it's disturbing me, because it disrupts my flow, my own personal flow. And then when I am available, when I have the time, when I have the right state of mind to interact with the certain application, whatever it is, like whether it's responding messages, responding to emails, catching up with content, whatever that is, then I'll do it at the time which I choose is the time that is right for me, not when there is that pressure like pim pim pim, notification. And for a lot of people it creates a pressure which makes us believe that, oh, I need to answer today, I need to do it today, I need to do it now. And then it puts us into constant this flight, fight, response mode, which is all about just us doing things all the time. And then you get to the end of the day and you're exhausted and you feel like, oh, I haven't even had the time to sit down, or, or just like, just be in peace, right? And I feel that's so important. And that's actually something that Amanda Ellis confirmed in her prediction video, which is what I also shared last week. I think it was in my personal story share. I'm not sure, but I know I was talking about it last weekend. which was the same energy. It was saying that the crazier world will get outside of us, and it will. Pluto will be in Aquarius majority of the year already, even though it will have one more retrograde into Capricorn, but it will be very, very brief. It's going to be literally just for the eclipse season in the fall. So majority of the year Pluto is already in Aquarius, so we are going ahead. We are going ahead with this Aquarian energy, so the world is going to get crazier. Even also Jupiter is going to go into Gemini. Gemini is all these air signs, right? So it is going to get faster, it's going to get crazier, it's going to get even more confusing for some, because there will be more information overload. And what I said, and also what Amanda Ellis confirmed in her video about predictions for 2024, was that you need to learn to slow down. The crazier the world happens to become outside of us, the more we need to find this time to slow down, to find the inner peace. And I've been, as I also shared, meditating like I try every single day. I meditate every morning before I fall asleep, in the evening and wake up in the morning. But, I'm still checked out in a dreamland. But like consciously, designate time, for meditation. And I know that that's not necessarily for everyone. Not everybody likes that. But even walking meditation, when you just go to the park, and however you want to engage with it, or whatever it is, just like to find that time which allows you to slow down and find that inner peace, whatever that looks like to you, and whatever is the tool and modality you want to use for that. But what I'm trying to say, and again highlight, is that the crazier the world will become outside of you, in order to balance it, in order to find the inner equilibrium, we need to go to the opposite direction. So the faster everything becomes, the slower we need to become inside. And it's like, of course, we are all tapped into this fastness, but to consciously make it so, to consciously dedicate the time every day to do this for ourselves, because it's very important. Otherwise, we're going to be even more overstimulated, and we already are so overstimulated. Our nervous system is constantly on a high, and this is going to be very important going forward because of the Pluto in Aquarius energy. Aquarius is it's a very decentralized, crazy, erratic electricity, is all this crazy, like fast energy. So we need to ground it. We need to learn to ground it. And also with opposition to Aquarius is Leo, which is also, you have to learn to connect to your heart, because, like Lee Harris keeps saying in most of these recent videos, that's the heart is the currency of the future, the heart energy, the heart space, the heart chakra, which is not necessarily just about, heart, like all this lovey-dovey thing, but is the connection, the ability to connect. And of course, it all starts with you, your connection to yourself. So again, going back to this, what this week, having the opportunity to wrap up 2023, really, I feel, was trying to show us is that what do we need to leave behind? What do we need to change? Because it's no longer supporting us. We can even think like, oh yeah, I was exactly in the same position last year, whether it's like, I don't know, I don't have time for myself, I'm still in the same situation with regards to my relationships, people taking me for granted, or, that boss is still not treating me well, still didn't get my pay rise, like whatever it is, whatever it is that you feel like, okay, I do not want to take this with me into 2024. Or it could be like, how do you treat yourself? Do you treat yourself kind? Do you give yourself time for yourself? Or is there too much self-judgment and criticism, or like we put too high, expectations on ourselves, and then we fail, and then, it's just like this never-ending circle. So it doesn't even matter what it is. And, without me trying to project like ideas onto other people, whatever it is for you, this week we had the opportunity with the full moon in Cancer to tune into, who are we becoming? Who do I really want to be? Who am I really, like in my authentic self? And am I reaching my potential? Do I feel I'm following my purpose? Do I feel I'm living a life that is filled with purpose? Or is it just this surviving? Is it just this one day, from one day to another, let's just survive this another day, another month, another year, whatever it is. Because with this year 8, This year 8 we entering into, and as I've been saying in tarot, 8 is the strength card, which got this lion on it, and it represents the Leo, the Leo of the astrology of the zodiacal wheel. And that's all about purpose, creative self-actualization, about what makes you happy, what gives you the sense of joy, your inner child. I know in traditional astrology, 5th house or Leo, it's about all the things you do for joy and fun, your hobbies, all these kind of things. So with this year that we are turning and tuning into, it will be very important to find that inner strength, to be able to become more and more authentic. And especially with the North Node in Aries, like I said, it's about the self-discovery. To some people it could be seen as a selfish energy, because it's like, well, I need time for me. I need to find out who I am. What did I come here to do? And in many people that could be triggering, because they say, well, that's narcissistic. But there is a difference where, we're doing something for ourselves and we don't even care, like, oh, how is this impacting other people? I don't care, I'm hurting other people or something, where actually we withdraw the energy that we are leaking to the external environment and give it back to ourselves to fill our own cup. So then we can use that energy more effectively and help people in an empowered way, in a way that it doesn't feel like it just drains the life out of you and then you have nothing to give, not to yourself, not to anyone else. So that's the difference. There is a difference, because of course there are people who are wounded and deeply traumatized, and then they don't even they're not even consciously aware if with their behavior they're hurting other people, because they just in this bubble of survival, this like the whole world is out there to get them, right? It's this complete disconnection from anybody else. But that's not what I'm applying here. And of course with the North Node in Aries, it can go into extreme, because Aries is very immature energy. It's a new cycle, it's a beginning. So it's a trial and error. We're going to get there through experience, and then eventually, because Aries Libra, there is like the Libra is the balance, right? It's justice. So eventually we're going to find the equilibrium, but first there has to be an extreme. There's probably going to be an extreme. So with this Leo energy, you have to have the strength to actually step into who you are, the authentic self. And that's why I feel that this full moon in Cancer is the last lunation of 2023. There is no coincidence that we had that, because to help us understand that who are you, like with all these emotions coming up to the surface, to help us reconnect with ourselves, like potentially triggers, like we had the opposition from Mars to Uranus, then Venus to Uranus, rule of the North Node, rule of the South Node. So a lot of triggers, a lot of things, a lot of maybe unresolved trauma coming up to the surface through the current experiences, especially now during the holiday season, interaction with the family and loved ones, people who know us the best, or they knew the version of us we were, right? So the more you change, your environment changes. And if it doesn't change, then, it's up to you. It's up to you whether you want to put a new boundary or not. So with all this energy that's present for us at the moment, is saying you have the opportunity to see yourself, through how does that make you feel, how the experience make you feel, what is being brought up to the surface. And now we have the choice to make. We have the choice to make, to say, do I want to stay being the same person, having the same experience, even though the external environment will change, because there are things that are going to change that are outside of our control, of course, or do I want to have a different experience, in which case there are things that needs to change, that needs to be adjusted. And then, like I also already mentioned, we have the 2 new moons in Capricorn, which is going to be the first lunation of 2024 and the last lunation of 2024. We are also going to have 2 full moons in Capricorns, which I actually completely was unaware of, and they're going to be again on a very early degrees of Capricorn and very late degrees of Capricorn. I know the second full moon in Capricorn in July, it's happening literally on 29 degrees and some change, right? So this is all helping us to shift our perception, or inviting us to shift our perception of who is in charge of your life. Because with Capricorn, it's about emotional maturation, it's about responsibility, it's about the authority, it's about who is creating all of all of this? I don't know why my throat chakra is going, but who is creating all of this that we are experiencing? So now that it's been illuminating to us, like the potential of who you could be, who you are, like having all these emotions brought up to the surface, and maybe feeling sad that, well, I still don't have what I want, or I'm not being treated the way I feel I deserve, or maybe I'm not showing up in my external environment the way I want to, because I don't feel I can be authentic, because I will be judged or whatever, or these people will reject me, or whatever it is, um, so with this like exiting the year with the full moon in Cancer and entering the new year 2024 with a new moon in Capricorn and having two full moons in Capricorn, and we're going to exit 2024 with the new moon in Capricorn, there's a lot of Capricornian theme, and the number 8 is ruled by Saturn and Jupiter, and it's the number of infinity. It absolutely, as I already mentioned this many times, that Saturn and Capricorn, it is the sign, it is the archetype that turns the form into formless and formless into form, because it's the last visible planet. That's why in traditional astrology they didn't work with Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, because they couldn't see them. They didn't know they were there. Pluto was only discovered in 1930s. So all this Capricornian theme, all this theme of Saturn is still going to be in Pisces for the entire 2024. So it's trying to show us, to help us to see that the external authority, these people that we put on pedestal and said that, oh yeah, you can treat me like a child and tell me what I can or can't do, that is not going to cut it anymore. It's not going to cut it anymore, because now with all this energy of Capricorn, these new moons, full moons in Capricorn, beginning and ending the 2024, it's saying that this has to change. It's a new moon. It's a new energy. It has to shift. And the new moon in Capricorn at the end of 2024 is under the influence of Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto is already going to be in Aquarius for good 20 years, right? Because it's going to retrograde back into Capricorn in September, and then it's going to go back into Aquarius in November for the last time. So the December new moon in Capricorn, which is how we're going to end 2024, 1 year from now, the last lunation, is going to have a very different energy. So whatever is going to take place in 2024 is going to navigate us in that direction. And that's why the year 8 is saying you need to be strong. You need to be like the Leo, to stand up for yourself, be authentic. There is no more people pleasing. We had the South Node in Libra being squared by Pluto this entire year. I mean, it was before in Scorpio, and then in July it turned into Libra. But all that said, Pluto was squaring the South Node the entire year, so it's gone from Scorpio to Libra. It's saying that's where your disempowerment lies, that we externalize too much power to the external environment, to anyone. It doesn't matter who that someone is, or something, institution, religion, whatever that is, whatever it is. Because you are the creator of your reality and you decide. But for us believing, if we believe that there is someone else that is above you, that is that superior being, whoever that is, and we give our power in a good faith, because like a child, children are innocent, they trust, it's in a good faith that they will, believe whatever the adult says. Maybe not this new generation of Pluto Capricorns, because they're very strong-headed, but, normally children. So maybe we cannot openly trust that way anymore. Maybe we cannot just go and anything we hear from whoever, even if that person is accredited or specialist or something, we just take it as a God's word or something. Like, no, you need to run it through your own internal system. Is that the truth for you? Does it resonate with you? What is your intuition telling you? Cancer is all about intuition. Cancer is the water sign. And still Neptune, Saturn will be in Pisces for the entire 2024 and 2025 as well. So I think this is really an important year where we really have to start reconnecting with ourselves, reconnecting with our intuition. Really is the path of self-discovery with the North Node in Aries, like really uncover like who you are, what you're made of, also with this, strength. It's about resiliency, there is a square between Scorpio and Leo, because Leo is like, it is the childlike innocent, and it's like, I got a purpose to follow, la la la. And then Scorpio say like, yeah, but you can die, like Scorpio is all about this intensity and stuff. But then, it goes like with Scorpio, it goes to Pisces, and it says, but you are eternal, you cannot die. We all have purpose here to fulfill, and then you go back where you came from, and like there's no end to anything. Everything is always continuous. It's like the infinity symbol. It keeps going. It's like a wheel, it keeps going, nothing ever ends. So it's more the fact, like, and this is something how I've lived my life, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is how I decided to live it. I don't compromise on these things. I say, if I cannot live the life the way I feel is right for me, then I'd rather not be here, because I didn't come here to be a slave or to be living other people's lives by their expectations. Like, I came here to have my experience, and this is what everybody came here to do. And it's not selfish, because you being authentically you and knowing who you are and knowing your needs, you're going to attract the right people to you, that actually you don't have to, that they don't have to play the role that makes you feel uncomfortable, challenged, or unhappy, in order for you to discover the same thing. Who are you, what you want, what you believe, where are your boundaries, what are your belief systems, right? So with this year we entering into, and how we exit in 2023, which was the year 7, and 7 is a number that is associated with Neptune, it gave us an opportunity to see what lost meaning and what still holds a meaning. There could be a lot of confusion, absolutely. There are a lot of lies and deceptions. There is a lot of disillusionment, and also tendency for escapism, because it's easier. But that is never going to resolve anything, because unless we find the self-empowerment and the true meaning and purpose through actually, living life in alignment with your needs and values and being your true authentic self, you cannot really escape yourself. You cannot escape yourself. You take yourself wherever you go. So nobody can really save you. Nobody can really make you feel better, because you cannot escape from yourself. So with this 8 energy, we represent strength, we represent Leo. And like I said, I just keep going in circles. The year ended with full moon in Cancer. Who are you? How do you feel about your life? How do you feel about the experiences you are experiencing? And all these labels we attached ourselves to, all this belief system, like, oh no, I can't do that. I'm from here and here, so this is my label. That's why I'm a victim. I'm an Eastern European, so, what can I expect? Or something like that, like, no, these are all just stories. These are all stories that we bought into, that we all be, like a group of people decided that, oh yeah, this is a story that sounds good. Let I don't know, adopt it, right? No, like literally we are in a time of human evolution where we have to question everything, all these stories, everything, even your own stories that you tell yourself, because a lot of that is not even yours, it's a program. We have to question everything, and that's what the year 8 is about. It's the year of strength, it's the year of Leo. It's about who are you authentically, because we just had a full moon in Cancer. Who are you? How do you feel about your life? How do you feel about the holidays and the experience you just had with all these people? Do they see you the way you see yourself? Or do you feel that this is who you still are? Was this year 2023, did it give you a sense of meaning and purpose or not? Or it gave you a sense of feeling lost and confused and think lost meaning? And now we feel like, what next? But it's not a bad place to be, because it opens a clean canvas for you to paint whatever you want on it, which is why I usually say to my clients after they've gone through the what is called midlife crisis, the Pluto square, Neptune square, Uranus opposition between the age of 40-45, when people feel like, the carpet has been ripped from under their feet, and like, I don't know who I am anymore. All this is gone, all this that we were identifying ourselves with. But is it really who you are? Like, you are not your labels. This is just an aspect or part of your experience as a human. So with this year we're entering into, and the first moon being the new moon in Capricorn, it's saying it's time. It's time to take the responsibility to decide, yes, I have the agency, I am in charge of my life, and I decide what that means for me. I will define the structure of my reality, and it doesn't matter if anybody agrees or has the same reality as you, because you are the creator of your life. And that's why, even like I said, with the belief system, Sagittarius is a mutable sign. It can be whatever you want. It's truth or it's lie. It just depends who you're asking. Like the same thing, for one person it can be the truth, and for some people it's not the truth, because truth is mutable. It's Sagittarius, it's mutable. So that's why I always say, and I keep repeating myself, I keep saying the same thing. I feel like I'm like a broken record. You didn't come here to live other people's life, okay? This is a very important thing to understand. You did not come here to live other people's life. You came here to be of a service, and you came here to fulfill your purpose, whatever it is for you, the unique purpose that you came here to fulfill. And you have your own navigational system, your own compass within you that is helping you to find what it is through how you feel, through what is your preference, what is your favorite color, what food do you like, what music do you like. This is not something you can logically explain. This is something that is within you. It's your navigational system. Like why some people like skiing and some people hate it. Why some people like lying on the beach and some people find it boring. Who knows? There is no logical explanation. There is just, this is something that's unique to you. This is your Leo. This is your authentic colors. So this upcoming year, this is what we are discovering with the North Node fully being in Aries the entire year. And as I mentioned, we are ending this year with Pluto squaring the nodes, squaring the South Node in Libra. At the end of 2024, Pluto will be trining the South Node in Libra and sextiling the North Node in Aries. So that on its own is telling you how much we will grow through 2024, which is what requires strength, determinations. Know thyself. You need to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, if you don't trust yourself, if you doubt yourself, if you judge yourself, if you criticize yourself, and if you are your worst enemy, which is what we were being conditioned to be to ourselves, to actually be our worst enemy. This is how we were being programmed, because it makes us easily influenced and manipulated. Because if person feels bad about themselves, that they are easy to manipulate by someone else, right? If we are not in that position of strength, then it will be challenging. It will be challenging because the world is going to get more and more crazy. It's going to get more and more fast. It's going to get more and more confusing. There'll be more stuff going on. These things are not going to stop just for us to catch up, but you can make it stop in your own inner self, which is why I said with what I started, that the faster the world will become and has become outside of us, the more we need to find the stillness, the peace, the balance, because it will be essential. It will be essential for us to not go crazy, literally, because it's just like we weren't designed the way we were born into these bodies at the time when we were born into them. These new kids are different, okay? They have very different program running, and you can see that. If you have children, Pluto in Capricorns, especially, even the teenagers, but especially the kids, the little kids now, right? They are wired very differently. They already adjusted to all this like craziness, That's why they call it HDHD, which is just a adjustment, it's just human as we go through evolution. This is just something that we had to adapt to, right? So these kids are already born adapted to that. They're not impacted the same way we are. But for us, we were not being born, like our generations, the older generations, Pluto Scorpio, Pluto Libras, and then the older ones. We were not being born with all this stuff that's going on now, this EMF and internet and all this fastness of things. Like back in the day, people just had letters, right? And then they had phones, the rich ones, and so it went, like how much life has changed in the past 50 years, 100 years, 20 years, the biggest change, 20 years, right? So we are now trying to adjust to the brand new world and brand new way of living, but we still need to find the balance. Need to find the balance because everything is happening very quickly and our bodies are adjusting. We are adapting to this new environment. But in order to help ourselves, we need to learn how to actually take a break, how to slow down and how to find the stillness. Otherwise, it's too much. So, and like I said, the only way we can feel strong is if actually we feel strong in ourselves. So again, going back to this Leo, the card of strength, which is about the inner child, which is about your creative self-actualization, which is about your authenticity. And then in opposition to Leo is Aquarius. And in opposition to strength is the star, which is the hope, which is the Aquarian age, is the hope for the future. So this is what we adjusting towards, because the old world is gone. Like, yeah, we still have this mess to tidy up from the old world, from the Pisces age. It's still here, it's still present. We can still see it playing out, all of it. It's all coming to the surface now for us to see, like, okay, big cleanup. This is the big cleanup of the Pisces age. And what was before, all of it. It's all coming up to the surface right now. But we can see, we can feel, we can sense this is not coming with us into the future. It's not coming with us because it doesn't have a space there. This new earth everybody is talking about, this 5D, which is all just the terminology, there is no space for war or hate or jealousy or division or all these kind of things, these low vibrational things, which is why they are so present in the world right now, because they need to be transmuted. They need to become something different, not transformed, transmuted. Like, these things, they will not exist in next 50, 100 years. Like, okay, maybe we won't see it, but at some point they will not be here anymore, because even the planet is raising the vibration. What will not be in alignment with the vibration of the planet will not be here anymore, right? So with this energy that we're stepping into, and in opposition to strength being the star, the future, the hope for the better future, well, we need to get from A to Z, but there are all these letters in between. So this is where we are at, like, and we have to start from ourselves, which is, it still takes you back to the North Node in Aries. So I really feel that now you are ready to jump, or you're gonna be pushed. That's technically what 2024 is. With the year of strength, with the year of 8, if we are ready to put the work in, and to trust yourself, trust your abilities that you can create, to take the responsibility. I'm tapping into the magician here, because magician is like, is like the Merlin, right? It's got all the elements available. We all have all the elements available. It's all available within you. Like, within you, it's a whole universe, right? Like, there's a quote from the Rumi, don't play so small. There is a whole universe within you, right? But many of us don't see ourselves that way. We just see everything that's wrong with us, everything that we lack in, everything that we fail in at, because we were being conditioned to be our worst enemy through the low vibration of Virgo. You're not perfect, right? Well, what does it mean? We have Moon in Virgo as I speak. We enter in 2024 with Moon in Virgo. So there are adjustments that need to take place, because Virgo is a beautiful archetype. It's the archetype of hero's journey. It's the archetype of learning and adjustment. It's the archetype of grounding. It's the archetype that connects the southern and northern hemisphere in the chart. It takes you from adolescence into adulthood, into the society, into being integrated within the northern hemisphere of the zodiacal wheel, which is the world. The southern hemisphere is all about you. The upper hemisphere is, okay, now what did you come here to do? Now that you know yourself. So this is really what I feel, and what I've been reflecting on with regards to my own journey and my own story. Like I said, I could have never foreseen. I'm in the same country. I'm in a different apartment, but in the same country, everything is the same, but everything is different. And also, as I mentioned previously, I don't resonate with the energy of this place anymore. Like, I've been coming here for 4 years now, and I know that this is now culminating for me. I really don't believe I'll be coming back. I feel that whatever I came here to learn here on my Pluto line is now culminating, because then there is a new cycle beginning for me too, just like it is for everyone. And actually, for me, the solar return for 2024 is a Leo rising. So go figure, it's going to be an interesting year. It's going to be an interesting year for everyone. It's just going to show up in the way that is, that is in alignment with who you are and what you're choosing for yourself. Whether you're just leaving it to accident and then it's just going to happen like it's out of the control, or whether we go with the flow, because there always is an inkling, there always is like a certain direction we pull towards. But do we resist it, or do we go with the flow? Do we follow it or not? So that's, I feel, what's going to determine how hard these changes are going to get, because the changes are coming. That is inevitable, and that is something that like, you don't need to be predicting anything to know that. Like, we all feel that, we all are tapped into that. But how challenging it will be, it depends on our level of resistance. Like, Are we ready for change, or do we want to stay attached to this all ego identity that now just became illuminated to us, this Cancer full moon, that is this really who you are? Or is this just the nostalgia and the memory of the past, the loyalty to what was before? And like I also said before, like if your ancestors were alive now, they'll be cheering you on, they'll be making different choices. And they are cheering you on from the other side to go like, okay, please do change the pattern. So when we come back, we don't want to have to relive the same lessons again. So this is why we all going through this collective purge, like there is so much ancestor healing going on because our ancestors live in us. So whatever you are experiencing, whatever blockages, limitation is something that is still unresolved from the past, because we all were born into this, into these families, into the cultures, into this collective imprint. And we came here to transmute it, to change it. Every next generation has the potential to make it better, to change it, to take it to the next level, with the Aquarius, to take it to the next level. That it doesn't mean that what was before is bad. It just, and that's why that which still works and resonates with us and is in alignment, right? Because it's all about the alignment, frequency, resonance with the Aquarius, that we take with us, because it doesn't mean it's all to be scrapped, but we are becoming more and more aware of what is not in alignment, because we can feel that there is something wrong. We cannot tolerate this anymore. That this is actually, like for example, like with the war and stuff that's going on in the world. Like this has been going on forever, this is nothing new, right? But it's like, it's becoming intolerable. It's becoming unbearable. It's like, no, we cannot take this with us into the future. So, and this is like also the war within us, within every single one of us, what we are at war with, and usually it's ourselves, it's this push and pull, that which is calling to us, this, purpose that is pulling us to a certain direction. And then is the attachment to the past, to the past ego identities, to the past stories, to the loyalty to what was before, and the nostalgia and stuff like that. But we're not going into the past, we're going into the future. And the future is being created now, because that's always what, that's the thing, that the only thing we'll ever have is the now. So that's why with this last day of 2023, we have the opportunity to decide, before you step into the 2024, what do you want to vision for yourself? What do you want this year to be for you? When you know that, okay, there are things you won't be able to control. There are things that are outside of your control, but there are things that you can control. And now that will take an action, whether it's something that has to switch internally in us, or whether it's something that physically we need to change. Whether it's a different job, whether it's to move, whether it's to, I don't know, put the boundaries with certain people, or cut certain people out of your life. Because you might realize that actually these relationships are toxic. Why am I still hanging on to them? Whatever it is. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that it's time to reevaluate and make a new choice, because we have the opportunity to redefine our lives. Our lives individually and collectively. Our life collectively is being redefined. that is for sure. And your life individually will be redefined, but however way it will go, it's up to you. Because this is also, like I said, where I'm tapping into the magician energy. That we need to acknowledge our power. We need to acknowledge just like how really powerful we are. And I mean, I don't know whether people are observing of this, but like how much faster things are manifesting. You think something and then, oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. I just saw this, or I experienced this. Like things are speeding up, the manifestation is happening much, much faster. So, let's be mindful. What are we manifesting? So let's focus on what we want to manifest, not what we do not want to manifest, which is why it's so very important to detox from, like I said, what are we consuming? Because majority of the mainstream stuff that we are consuming is to create fear. And that is to help towards the manifestation of what you don't want. Because it's always the emotion. It's always the emotion that creates the manifestation, because it's not even the information you hear. It's about what it makes you feel, what are you visualizing? Like, like in our database, in our brain, it goes, oh my God, last time I heard that this happened. So that's really what's happening there. So it doesn't matter what is the information. It's about how it makes you feel, which is why there is not one version of the truth. It's all mutable. Information is mutable. It's Gemini. These are all mutable signs. Some of them have meaning, some of them don't have meaning. You have a Virgo to discern, but the Pisces goes, okay, let's get rid of it. It doesn't have a meaning. So whichever we are experiencing and whatever we are consuming, how does it make you feel? Because if it doesn't make you feel good, then does it matter if it's a truth or not? Because knowing that there is no such a thing as one truth, you will have multiple versions of the same truth. That just try to Google something. I mean, okay, well, you might not see the other interpretation of the truth because of with all the stuff that's going on in the world right now. But you know what I mean, right? You can find a lot of different versions of the truth. So then why to get attached to something which, who cares if it's a truth? If it makes you feel upset and fearful, then, it's not the right food for your soul, because that's what it comes down to. So I feel that in 2024 and stepping into it like in few hours, well, for me, few hours, for some people in Australia, New Zealand, you're already there, guys. It's important to make wise choices with regards to how we are experiencing this life. What are we consuming? Because that's what creating your experience, right? Like, what are we choosing? What choices are we making? And is the 8 is the opportunity to manifest everything you want. But you need to put your big pants on, your big hat on, like with the Saturn, the responsibility, the Capricorn. I'm the authority. I'm in charge of my life. You can't tell me how to live my life because it's my life. I'm the magician. You all of it. You are the Leo. You are here to fulfill a purpose which is unique to you. So it's time to stop being distracted of what someone else wants you to manifest based on all this manipulation that's going on and all these emotions that you don't really. Do you want to feel those emotions? Do you want to feel afraid? Do you want to feel scared? Do you want to feel terror and all these, all these lower vibrational emotions? Like, I mean, like somebody like my dad, he's addicted to it. He loves it. He complains about it, but he loves it. He watches it every day. And no judgment, because that's his experience he's choosing for himself. It's good, it creates the polarity for me to observe so I can make a different choice because I see how it's manifesting. But why would we consciously choose this experience? I mean, for many people, this is not how they want to feel. They want to feel in a different way. So what can we choose that would help us to feel in a different way? Because that then will become your reality, because through these feelings you manifest in your experience and then attracting more of it. This is why when you're having a bad day, it just will all go downhill, right? Unless we consciously decide, no, I am changing this into good day, because the words cast spells. So this is what I mean, guys. Like, we are such a powerful being, and a lot of things that we are manifesting in our life are subconscious. So, yeah, with this number 8 energy, the strength energy, the Leo energy, it's time to show up. It's time to shine your light from the place of empowerment. And the one thing that I had to accept and understand, with me not really feeling like I should be here and I don't like it being a human, but I chose it. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. I mean, like Lee Harris keeps saying in most of his channeling, it's very easy to take you out. Us as a humans, it's so easy to die. It's so easy, to be taken out of this body. So if you're here, if you're having this experience, then we all chose it. So if that's the case, then let's just own up to it and make it the best experience we can potentially have. And yeah, there are things that are going to be happening outside of us, but there are a lot of things that are happening which you can influence. And then obviously how we process that experience inside of us. So anyway, guys, this is probably a very random video. I didn't even know which direction it was wanting to go. It went where it wanted to go. But yeah, just look at this year 8 with the hope of the star and the power of your own strength and your Leoness, your Leo essence. You are special. You are unique. You are here to complete a purpose. And only you know what it is. And there is no one out there who can tell you. And there is no one out there who is better than you. And there is no one out there whose truth is, or his or her needs are more important than your own. because you are your sun, you are your own sun. Everybody's got somewhere a sun somewhere in their chart, even though not everybody is Leo, but everybody's got their sun somewhere, and sun rules the Leo. That's the essence of you. So nobody is any more or less important than you. So this is the year to start shining your light and treating yourself accordingly. That you came here with a purpose. Nobody's more important than you, nobody's less important than you. And what it is that you came here to do, how you can be of a service from an empowered state where you can actually feel that, yes, this life holds a meaning and I feel happy and fulfilled. And it doesn't mean everything's going to be easy and beautiful and rainbows and butterflies, but even people who have the hardest jobs in the world can feel a sense of purpose and meaning in that. So what it is for you. So that's what we are discovering in this upcoming year. So anyway, guys, super long video. Like I said, I don't know if it makes any sense, but I wish you all a happy new year 2024. May it bring into manifestation everything that you are desiring to experience, whatever that looks like for you. And yeah, here we are, 2024. 2023 is behind us. Let's look at it with love and compassion and be grateful for all the lessons and all the opportunities to see and to learn and to understand and be aware of. And 2024, let's be open. Let's be open to whatever wants to come in, because there is a reason for everything. Universe doesn't make any mistakes. Nothing is at random, and there is a reason for everything. So I wish all the best to you all. Thank you for all your support. Thank you if you're still watching. Thank you for being here in my channel. And yeah, I have one more day left. If you're still watching this before January 1st, until midnight January 1st, I still have my salon on my website. So if you would like to book a reading, then you're welcome to take advantage of that. I am fully booked for January, so I'm now taking bookings from February. But yeah, anyway, I'm going now. Much love to everyone. Thank you again, guys, and I'll speak to you in 2024. Bye for now.